Hi, we're Wiser Systems. I'm Seth Holler, CEO.
I'm Logan Maxwell, wearer of many hats.
We meet again. And so today we're going to talk about the options for doing a pilot at a customer site, or what options you have as a customer if you reach out to us. Instead of first going from 0 to 100 miles per hour and doing a full deployment, what are those intermediate steps that you could potentially take? But before jumping into that, let's just do a quick run through of what we do.
Sure. So we are a real-time location system. We have tags that go on your items, and then as they move around your shop and facility, you have antennas in the roof, and you have a map that looks like what we're showing here, except instead of our map, of course, it will be your map with your dots moving around, and you can name and associate all sorts of data to them, right? So if you run around looking for stuff, now you've got a tool to find all those things.
Yeah, essentially, if you are losing items in a manufacturing facility that's costing you time and money, our solution will solve that problem.
Correct. So what we've noticed in the recent trend, maybe not even recent, just a long-term trend,
Sure,
is that seeing is believing in a lot of these technologies. You're probably being inundated with lots of copycats and marketing material that looks very similar, and we're going to do this real-time location. All sorts of different underlying technologies that would provide it: Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, ultra-wideband, low-RAW, cellular, you name it, right? What we've noticed, at least in the industry, is it's beneficial to have the ability to see, touch, feel, and test prior to having to go all the way in and do your entire facility. Fortunately, Wiser's in the position to do that in a number of ways, and it really depends on what's best for your process. I would say, namely, there's 4 different methodologies.
yeah, and the reason we're doing this is because a lot of people or companies have had kind of bad experiences with other technologies that they've kind of tested out or done full production that hasn't worked to their expectations. So now people are a little more hesitant to do that full deployment. They want to test it and verify that it's going to work for their needs.
Right, and so for instance, one of the easiest and best paths, and again, we're not offering this out of the kindness of our heart. We find this as really as a sales tool a lot of times, is actually taking a Wiser representative to the site, to your facility, and setting up some of these antennas in a temporary fashion over the course of a morning or an afternoon or a full day, and running around with tags. Because this is a wireless system that does all of its synchronization over the air, you're able to do that relatively quickly. So we can do that really at no cost, as long as you've shown enough interest in the system itself. So reach out, demo form, contact. We'll talk with you a few times and make sure we're a good tech fit. If we are, we'll come to the site at no cost and set it up and run it, because we have found that's a very effective strategy, so you can understand, see, touch, feel, and know that it's going to work in your environment. So that's one of the options.
And it's a quick setup, right? It takes less than 30 minutes to set it up, and then you can run around with the tags or attach tags to carts and see them moving on the actual screen.
Yeah, and about, maybe 10,000 square feet, something like that.
And it's all battery powered. It doesn't require any like Wi-Fi or IT permission. It just works in its own isolated network.
Right.
And you can just see it, or your colleagues can see it as well.
We're going to bring our own computer, run it all isolated, like you said. This is off your network, just all on our little computer, and run around. That's at no cost. Now, it's a fair extension to that is really our second option, which is taking these and temporarily setting them up for a longer period of time, right? It's essentially the same option. We're just going to leave the antennas up. We have actually larger batteries on them. They have magnets, and we're going to literally slap them up around the facility and leave them there for a few days to a week, and that way you can gather data over multiple shifts.
Again, it's all a self-contained network, battery powered, does not require any sort of IT infrastructure to do this experiment. The batteries are large enough to last a long time.
Yeah, we affectionately call that option the WackPack, because we're whacking them up on your columns. It's all run into a computer local to the site, no IT. It's just basically a longer format version of the no-cost visit. Now, of course, this would be engineering hours. We would spend some time there, and we would walk you through it. That has a cost associated to it, but you then get to play with it for longer. That brings us to a third option, which is actually setting up a small portion of your facility for the long term. This isn't as popular because effectively, if you know it's going to work over the course of a day, there's really no difference over the course of a month. But for some facilities, their path and their progress towards getting things approved means setting up a small corner of their facility for 3 months, 6 months.
So this actually does involve IT. It
Correct.
has a back-end infrastructure daisy-chained to a PoE switch or port to make that connection. It does run on your network. You provision the computer to run it on, and that's something we can do. And that small pilot can be expanded upon. So basically, you're not just doing a pilot; you're doing a segment of the full deployment, but just in a small scale.
Right. Essentially, it has the added advantages and disadvantages that you're already going through all the IT approval. You're getting the software already set up. You have a VLAN, you have a VM running on-prem. So that has its advantages. It also has its disadvantages for time and cost, right? But it is a valid strategy, and we've done it at many sites, is to set up just a smaller portion as a way to get in, right? The fourth option, I would say, is actually kind of by far the most efficient and effective in many ways, is we're in a fortunate enough position to have multiple scaled industrial and manufacturing clients that are willing to host folks in their facilities. We're going to try to find one regional to you so that you can visit on a drive, and we'll try to find one where it's at least somewhat of a representative example of the way you would use the system. We have a lot of varied uses, so we'll try to find one that's close in both the way and context it's used as well as the location of it.
So if you're in Illinois, we have a site you could go and visit. If you're in Ohio, we have a site you can go visit. If you're in Iowa, we have a site you can go visit. If you're in the LA area, we have a site you can go visit. So
I always thought you were just going to keep going. I was like, he's just going to go. Yeah, so really anywhere around, we're going to try to find somewhere that you can get to that's not too far. Hawaii and Alaska maybe not included. There's really a good chance in the contiguous 48 there's something around you. Yeah. So just reach out, let us know. But there's really a lot of options, right? There's a no-cost visit as long as you're interested enough. We'll run it for a day for free. We can leave it there for multiple days at a lower cost, no IT approval required. Or we can run a small version at your site full on through IT, VLAN, VM, the whole works. Or alternatively, or in conjunction too.
Right, it's not exclusive.
Yeah, not exclusive.
You can do multiple options at once.
You can go to a site that we have running. Let us know if you're interested in any of these options. Of course, send in a form. Let us know over email.
Yes. Any questions, feel free to reach out. Happy to engage and have a deeper conversation. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks.